All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here on the Harmless Dave channel, talking about relatively harmless things. This time I'm going to talk about music, really. And I am doing this in real time, although this is a pre recorded video that I will be uploading to my channel. And so when you watch it, it's actually not in real time, but it is for real people, just like you and just like me. So you've been lying this whole time. It's not in real time. It was a catchy little saying, and so I kept doing it. And then I told people I was going to stop doing it, and they said, no, no, you have to keep doing it, just like the pointing. Just like the pointing. There we go. Point at the camera. I have some people that leave messages and they say, I hate it when you point. I hate it. It's impolite. I don't know what to do with any of this anymore. All right. You know, it's a good day because I have something to talk about that's actually kind of classic rock, blues rock from two heavyweights, big people. No, I'm not talking about like they eat too much. I'm talking about Joe Bonamassa and Sammy Hagar together. And they do this sort of gut wrenching, swampy blues tune that if I were still the music director at the radio station I worked at in the late 80s into the early 90s, I would be like, okay, we're adding this because the phones people used to call, remember? They used to call the radio station, dude, what's that song you're playing? It's Joe Bonamassa and Sammy Hagar, and it's entitled Fortune Teller Blues. And you just heard the whole 7-minute version of it. So here's the lowdown. Here's the scoop on the song. Now, before I actually talk about this song, when I heard this song, I actually thought of this guy over here, Walter Trout. So if you haven't heard Walter Trout, Walter does this kind of stuff all the time. And I'm sure people who know about Walter are like, duh, but there are a few people that don't. This is an album he did called Ordinary Madness. I think it came out during the COVID thing, and I ended up buying it because I'm like, I wonder what he's talking about in this song. Walter has been part of my life since the late 90s. I mean, he's not coming over for dinner or anything, but I do listen to him from time to time. And I remember finding this CD of his in a bin at the dollar store. Wasn't actually a Dollar Tree, but it was in Springfield, Massachusetts, and it was 1999 or year 2000. The song was the album and the song was called "Livin' Every Day," and since then I've been a huge fan of Walter Trout. You know that saying where you can't judge a book by its cover. Well, I was judging the CD by its cover, and it looked like it was going to be good. And holy crap, Batman! If you can find that CD, or you can stream it on all your favorite platforms, I think. There was a tune called Through the Eyes of Love that I really got into, but then the entire thing. It's just really good. Anyway, getting back to the song at hand here. So Fortune Teller Blues, Joe Bonamassa, Sammy Hagar. It's a blues-drenched tale of fate and deception. It unfolds like a smoky backroom confession. Yeah, this is very swampy stuff. The track's simmering tension, amplified by a driving beat and deep, brooding riffs that channel both Joe's mastery of the blues guitar and Hagar's rock and roll swagger. By the way, Sammy Hagar, his voice, the way it sounds today, really fits this kind of song. So kudos to these two guys for putting this out there. Now, interestingly enough, there is a Journey connection. Since everybody loves to talk about Journey, producer Kevin Shirley, who's worked with Journey, and he's like, don't call me Shirley, right? He's worked with Journey, the Black Crowes, Iron Maiden, too. Yeah, he's worked with Iron Maiden. That seems kind of weird to me. But anyway, the track is steeped in classic blues traditions, yet injected with a fierce modern energy. So there you go. I'm just reading the review. Hagar added, holy crap, this thing came out good. Actually, he didn't say crap. He used a different word. I'll just say, holy crap, Batman. This thing came out good. The track is a monster. So the release of Fortune Teller Blues is another milestone for Joe Bonamassa, hot off the heels of his fourth Grammy nomination for Blues Deluxe 2. You know what the issue is these days? And I don't know if this is necessarily true, but I'm going to go out on a limb. There aren't too many people doing what Joe does, the way he does it. So when he puts out music, it just goes right to the top. I mean, there are other great blues musicians out there. Um, I've spoken very kindly of the Bridget Kelly Band, who play gigs basically down the road from me all the time. They're friends of mine, and they have this guitarist by the name of Tim Fick, Fik. He's amazing. The band is amazing. There are other bands that roam around down here that play blues, and we're missing out, folks. We're missing out because we don't have a support system where this stuff gets elevated. Much of it is just rock that's heavily blues oriented, or blues that's rock oriented. But you can't really have old school rock if you don't have some blues injected in there. And what's cool about this is it has a lot of raw energy. I'm talking about the song, and it features two people that are fairly well known. So that's Joe Bonamassa, who was probably born maybe 10 to 15 years too late, but he's still carved out a great career because his stuff, like I said, just rises to the top, and deservedly so. And so, I'm sure Walter Trout is probably a fan of Joe, and Joe, I'm sure, is a fan of Walter. But if you like this style that Hagar and Joe Bonamassa are doing here, check out Walter Trout, because he does this basically for a living, song after song, and his stuff is really good. So, in case you didn't know about Walter Trout, he goes all the way back to the Blues Breakers. I mean, this guy is also a beast. And I think that's where we all should focus on this new stuff, is find the best of the best and spread the word about it. Because radio isn't going to do us any favors, and people just laugh at me and say radio is dead. Why are you even talking about radio? Radio doesn't have to be dead. If they could break up these radio monopolies and have some stations pop up that are independent and create their own playlists rather than having some corporation tell them what to play, I guarantee you things will get very interesting when you're driving in your car. You'd be excited to go get that loaf of bread, whereas before you'd like, really? I don't think so. Of course, you might want to take a longer trip, like drive to the beach or drive out to the country, but you'd have some radio along with you that would be entertaining rather than boring and bland the way it is right now. All right, folks, I'm going to put my soapbox away. Thanks for watching. If you like the content here, or even if you don't, think about maybe supporting the channel, Patreon, buy me a coffee, YouTube memberships, super chats. All of those things are available. And I would really appreciate that, since I'm still trying to rebuild the 82,000 platform that is frozen in time. So yeah, maybe I'll do it again. I'll get up to 82,000 and it will just freeze up again. Maybe there's just a glitch in the matrix and I've got to prepare for the inevitable. But anyway, folks, thank you for being here. God bless. Please pray for the families of those who lost their lives in that insane plane crash, which we're finding more stuff about, and it's not good regarding the helicopter. It's just not good, folks.